Hey, thank you for joining me for this video update. Did you know that this year, 2022, marks the first time since 1965 that A Charlie Brown Christmas isn't aired on network television? Apple TV Plus bought the rights and exclusively streams it with their service this year. But the reality is that the classic almost never made it to TV in the first place. There wasn't adequate time to finish the animation, so Snoopy, I don't know if you noticed this, but he got all the action scenes because he was the easiest to animate. The music wasn't complete, so Les Mendelssohn quickly scribbled down the lyrics to Christmas Time is here in 30 minutes. And then he threw away the scrap of paper he used because everyone thought the special would never air again. That soundtrack, by the way, has sold more than 5 million copies. Most of the voice characters were kids from the director's neighborhood. Some of them were so young they couldn't even read the script. And network executives hated the use of scripture. They wanted it cut. When Schultz insisted that it stay, they were confident that the special would flop and the comic strip would be ruined forever. In writing about the last year of the show's network broadcast, Robert Lloyd of the Los Angeles Times said, "Even an old atheist like me must admit that Linus's gospel-based meaning of Christmas speech strikes the right note at the right time." I have to agree that Linus's response to Charlie Brown's question, "Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?" Listen, it's touched countless lives now for 57 years. And what has and does and will continue to move the hearts of people is the gospel. That's why I hope you'll invite your family and friends to join you at MCC for one of our Christmas Eve services, where we will remind ourselves what Jesus has brought into our lives and still offers to people today, a message of hope. This year we have 3 Christmas Eve services, December 23rd at 7, which will also be our live online service and then on demand afterwards, and then on December 24th at 5:30 and at 7. And I'd like to ask a favor. When you determine the service that you intend to be part of and invite your friends to, please RSVP. There are 3 ways you can do that, by the way. On our website, on the Christmas tab, there'll be a link on our Facebook page, and then the sign-up tabs on our Church Center app. Now, we're asking MCCers to do this so that we can anticipate how many will be in the room for each service. That allows us also to plan well for our children in our nursery and preschool classrooms, which will be available for all 3 of our Christmas Eve services. And we know that we have people from the community who will not know to do that. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of room for everyone. We can and will be ready to expand seating as needed. Hey, thanks for your help in being prepared to do that. Now, in my email that accompanies this video, there are also links to information about our Christmas offering, which I talked about last week, and about our Christmas Day service, which I'll talk about next week. As we celebrate Christmas each year, we decorate with lights and trees and wrapped gifts in brightly colored paper. And interestingly, studies show that people's spirits are actually lifted during this time of year, and people actually are more generous. It's not just your imagination, they really are more generous. And that's great. But it's not true of everyone. And there's at least one more ugly side of Christmas than we're going to talk about, even though we don't want to talk about it. We might even want to try to ignore it in our lives, but the ugly during this time of year has a chance to mar the story of the birth of the one we follow. And he doesn't want any of us, his kids, living in darkness or avoiding the light or hiding the ugly in their life. This Sunday, I get to talk about the ugliness of feeling lonely and where it shows up in the Christmas story and what can help with that. Loneliness has been called the dirty little secret of our culture. Now listen, it's not someone else's problem. A post-pandemic look at the state of loneliness among U.S. adults finds that more than half of us, 58%, are considered lonely. The American Medical Association says that even though people are becoming more connected through social media and other outlets, the great irony is that many people still feel lonely. That loneliness in turn can have far-reaching implications on a person's health and well-being. But loneliness at Christmas is not new. This Sunday, we'll see where it shows up in the first Christmas and also what we can do to help others overcome their loneliness. And don't forget, this Sunday, we will celebrate National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day by wearing our ugly Christmas sweaters to worship. It's going to be hideous. I can't wait. So whether you're joining us in wearing your ugly Christmas sweater online or on campus, I'm looking forward to seeing you.